Hi, welcome back to PC Builder. I'm Jason. Building a gaming PC in 2023, it just gets cheaper and cheaper. And just in time for back to school, this month we're featuring builds great for gaming and for production work. We've got a $950 Mini ITX build with insane 1440p performance that looks amazing. And we've got a $599 1440p gaming build with an actual NVIDIA GPU. You heard that right. And to complete your setup, we've got some great gaming monitor deals. Remember, if you get value out of this video, please give it a like because it really helps out the channel. And of course, subscribe, click that bell icon. That way you get notified when we release cool content. With that, let's jump into it. Before that, this video is sponsored by VIP SCD Key. Say goodbye to crazy expensive Windows 10 licenses and that terrible Activate Windows 10 watermark. Right now, use the links in the video description, head over to VIP SCD Key, and get a Windows 10 Home or Pro OEM license for a great price. Pick your product license, then use the PC Builder discount code PC25 for an additional 25% off. Go to the activation settings on your PC, put in the code, and boom, you have a fully licensed Windows 10 for a crazy low price, which can be upgraded for free to Windows 11. Use the links in the video description below. Let's jump into a $599 1440p gaming PC build. And guess what? It comes with an NVIDIA. That's right, an NVIDIA RTX 3060 12GB, not that crappy 8GB 3060, but the actual good RTX 3060 12GB. You're Jason. How is that possible? How can you put a build together for less than $600, $598 actually right now, $598.80 with an RTX 3060? I thought NVIDIA GPUs were stupidly overpriced. I thought they were totally unaffordable. Largely they are, and that's why we continue to focus on AMD GPUs because of the value they provide. But I will say, given where we've gone with VRAM in 2023 and realizing that 8 gigs is just not enough except for budget gaming anymore, if you look at the other alternatives right now, the 3060 12GB is a really compelling pickup at $279. Right now you can pick up the Ventus 3060 12GB, the 2-fan model for $279. You can also go out and get the 3-fan model for $280 for like $5 more. Really no difference in terms of, you don't need to get the big one. And just spoiler alert, the case we're going to pick actually won't fit this, but for $5 more, you could get the 3-fan model if you wanted. That's an insane price given where they were. Let's take a quick look at RTX 3060 levels of performance. This is a 11 game average from TechSpot. I'll leave this link down in the video description. You can check out the individual titles. They usually use ultra settings for the testing. I typically recommend people play games on high settings. You just get a lot more performance, and the visual, there's not really any difference visually. It's just some shadows, maybe some water tracing, that kind of thing that you absolutely will not miss. So I recommend that. And they're getting 67 FPS with a 1% low of 55. That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal performance. Now, obviously, if you could do a little bit better, if you have about 40 or 50 bucks more to spend, we're recommending the RX 6700 XT. Look at that, 92 FPS. And again, you can turn down the settings on that one too and get a lot more FPS. But if you want an NVIDIA GPU and you want 1440p and you want enough VRAM at 1440p, the 3060 is a very compelling option. If you do want that 6700 XT, you can get it right now for $329 right now. This will actually fit in the case despite having 3 fans. It's just a little bit shorter than the other one. Let's talk a little bit about the platform now. Last month we did an i3 1200F build that would be perfectly fine for this as well. But being back to school right now, I wanted to focus on CPUs that's going to give you a little bit more multi-threaded performance. If you want to do some video editing, if you do code compiling or any other kinds of schoolwork related things, I want to give you a little bit more oomph. Same performance in terms of gaming as the i3 1200F and 2 more cores that do give you more performance overall. $94, insane value. The only drawback of this CPU, no PCIe Gen 4, PCIe Gen 3, but for this build, perfectly adequate for what we're doing. For the motherboard, we're simply going to go with the Asus Prime B450M-A2, has BIOS flashback. Remember, because our CPU only has PCIe Gen 3, we can go with a B450 motherboard. If you can't find in your region for whatever reason, this continues to be available in the US, both at Newegg and at Amazon, but if you're in a different region of the world and you can't find this board or a similar B450, B550 is absolutely fine for it. Or again, you can switch back to the i3 1200F. I'll leave links to those parts down in the video description, but this is a great motherboard for only 80 bucks. For the RAM, we're just going with DDR4 3200 CL16, just super cheap RAM. Remember, we're playing at 1440p, and at the GPU level we're at, the RAM speed isn't really going to help us out at all. at all. In fact, if we want to spend more money, I would upgrade the CPU rather than upgrading the RAM. So we're simply going to go with a cheap kit. This is the silicon power. Again, if you don't like the look of this, it's just a very basic kit with a very basic heat shield over the top. You can spend $3, $4, $5 getting a nicer looking kit. You can spend about $10 more getting RGB as well, but 3200 CL16 is really all we need. You can go 3600 CL18 because it's effectively the same speed. The speed's a little faster, but the cast latency is a little higher. For the drive, we're just going to get one of the cheaper NVMe M.2 drives. We're going to go 500 gigs here. We went silicon power A60. You can go Team Group MP33, also very good. Less than $23 is really insane for storage. If you want to spend a little bit more here, this is one area I would recommend you look at maybe first. And outside of the GPU, of course, just add a little bit more storage. For only about $20, you could go 1 terabyte instead. For the case, we're going to go back to one of our super great budget options, which is the DIY PC F2. This is a phenomenal case, but it is only available in the US at Newegg that I can find. I believe it's offered at UK Amazon as well if you can find it, but there's not really any listings for this on Amazon in the US if you just have to buy something from there. I'll give you an alternative in just a second. This case, totally basic case. It looks nice. It's got a really nice retro look to it. It's got 2 included LED fans to it. They're blue LEDs. They look super nice. I really overall like the look of it. I really love the price. $36 right now with a 10% promo off on it. That's 2 thumbs up from me. If you are looking to spend just a little bit more and get something with a little bit more cool bling to it, I keep recommending the BitPhoenix Nova Mesh Micro ATX case. Insane value. 3 ARGB fans. It comes in black and it also comes in all white. If you want to do an all white build, there you go. Either one has a PSU shroud to it. It's got a really, really nice glass panel to it, mesh in the front, just totally insane value. Overall, the entire PC case market, I have noticed, is rapidly coming down from where it was. Fingers crossed we continue to see great value cases like this. For the PSU, unfortunately, the PSU market continues to have challenges at the budget level, but our good friend, the Apiva Prestige 600 watt 80 plus gold units out there for $52. $52. And I will note in the past, I've been telling people this is a 600 watt unit. I've been telling people that, hey, one of the drawbacks is it comes with ketchup and mustard cables. As you can see, they're not all black sleeves. After my last video, a couple people reached out, said that they bought this PSU and that the latest version that they're shipping of this PSU actually has all black sleeved cables all the way to the connector, so you're not getting that. So fingers crossed, if you order this for $51, again, insane value, that you get that version. If you do want to go with something with sleeve cables, the EVGA GE units, either the 600 watt or 700 watt ones, are also good values, but they just cost a little bit more. So overall, for $598.80, you are getting an insanely performative 1440p gaming PC with an NVIDIA GPU, which I know is going to make some of you super happy out there. And it's going to give you the multi-threaded performance that you're going to need for all of your schoolwork. It's going to give you great performance in gaming when you're done with your homework. It's going to add in all the NVIDIA RTX features like DLSS that I know a lot of people like. Overall, just an absolute insane value. Let's go through a couple monitor recommendations for our $600 1440p gaming build. Now, if you want to play at higher frame rates, maybe at 1080p, let me give you a super budget option. That is the Core 24-inch. It's a 24E3. This is actually first reviewed by Optimum Tech. He bought one of these. He checked it out. Checked out really, really nicely compared to some of the best 1080p monitors, budget monitors on the market. Highly recommended. 165 hertz IPS panel, only $120. He did, however, say the stand on these, not very good at all. So he would definitely recommend just using a cheap monitor arm. I've got one here. This is just a desk monitor arm for $26. Something like this would be perfectly great. Bring you to about $145 total. Great for a budget setup. For just a little bit more money though, and a more recognizable brand name, you can get something like the Gigabyte G27, a good IPS 1080p 27-inch 165 hertz display. Overall, really, really good value on this one. And nice thing is it comes with the full range of tilt, swivel, all that kind of stuff. On a typical stand, you don't actually have to replace the stand. It's got some nice looking, just overall good aesthetics to it. $169 right now. Of course, if you're looking for insane 1440p value, gaming value, check out the ASRock Phantom, I hate this name, PG27Q15R2A, the end, 27-inch, $199, been reviewed by several different outlets. really, really good value. Yes, it is curved VA, but the response times, the motion handling, all of that, among the better 1440p panels out there. It's got Wi-Fi, cable management to it. Overall, phenomenal value for $199 value. The only drawback is I can only find it at Newegg in the US right now. Let's jump into a $950. That's right, $950 Mini ITX 1440p gaming and creator PC. It's gonna have 32 gigs of RAM. It's gonna have a super performative CPU on it, an insane GPU. But first, let's start off with the Mini ITX cases. That's kind of what is really exciting about Mini ITX builds. We're gonna go with the Cooler Master NR200P. Like, why are we going with the NR200P? Because we're gonna get this case for 40 bucks. For 40 bucks. You're like, how are you gonna get that case for 40 bucks? And I will leave this link down in the video description. Two things. Number one, the case is $94. You can also get it in black. You can get it white. You can get a $30 rebate. Click the rebate form right here. As long as you buy it by August 31st, Cooler Master is gonna, and you postmark it by September 30th, Cooler Master is gonna give you a $30 mail-in rebate. That's phenomenal. And there's a $25 coupon that you can apply right now, at least as I'm filming this. At least as I'm filming this, fingers crossed, when this video goes live, it's still available for you folks out there. And if you take all those discounts off, it's $40 for the case. $40 for the case. Also, this case is amazing. It looks insane. I love the glass panel on the side, and I love the end look. That's really what we're going for here. If you don't like the glass panel look, you can use the perforated mesh metal instead. That looks great as well. This is the build look that we're gonna go for. We're gonna go for a vertically mounted GPU on it, just like this. It's gonna look amazing. In fact, we are gonna build this, and the day this video goes live, we are gonna do a live stream, members only live stream. So become a member, join now. This is one of the cool features we do. We're doing a live stream of it, and it's going to be part of producing an ITX build guide for the channel that should be out in just a couple weeks afterwards. So stay subscribed for that as well. Going to do a phenomenal looking build. Let's talk about the GPU that's making this all go. We're going to go with the Sapphire Pulse Radeon RX 6700 XT. Honestly, any of the 6700 XTs will probably be fine as long as we don't get ones that are too thick in order to vertically mount. This is 2.2 slot width. That'll work perfect. $329 for this one right now with a $10 promo code. That right there, you're going to get this for $319. And you say, Jason, what's the level of performance I'm going to get with the 6700 XT? Well, look at that. You basically get the same performance as RTX 3070, except the 3070's only got 8 gigs of VRAM, and you're going to get it with 12 gigs of VRAM, and you're going to get it for $319. Want to spend a little bit more, you can get a 6750 XT instead. It gives you about 5% more performance. Note that AMD is going to announce at the end of this month, we know through leaks and rumors, the launch of the RX 7700 and the 7800. The 7700 more than likely will have 12 gigs of VRAM, at least 12 gigs of VRAM, and give us performance that we don't know where it's going to be. I'm going to estimate it's going to come in about 10, maybe 15% more performant than 6700 XT, but I don't trust AMD to price that thing appropriately, so I don't feel a need to wait for that thing. If you want to wait for it, again, we're just a couple weeks away from it. You certainly could. The other great thing about the 6700 XT right now is it comes with STARFIELD. It comes with STARFIELD. That's right. And it comes with the premium edition of the game, a $100 value. I know sometimes with these bundles, they're like, it's a $500 value. You're like, no, it's not really a $500 value. Give me a break. In this case, premium edition of STARFIELD does in fact cost $100, $99, and it gets you early access. It gets you all the cool skins and everything. Just a totally amazing deal. You're basically getting this GPU for like $209, and you're getting STARFIELD on top of it. Crazy value right now. Let's talk about the rest of the build. We're going to go with the i5 12600K because it's down to $190-ish, $193 right now in the US. This is a great CPU. It's not as performative as like the Ryzen 7600 in terms of gaming, but it absolutely mops the floor with it in terms of multi-core. And with all our back to school focus this month, I really wanted to get a super performative CPU for multi-core. And in terms of this GPU level of performance, it's gonna be absolutely fine. We're gonna get 99.9% of our frames out of our GPU at this level anyway. We're not pairing it with an RTX 4090 after all. It's a 6700 XT. Super performative, 6 performance cores, 4 E cores. 2 thumbs up for this right now. Great value. For the motherboard, honestly, the ASRock Z690M, ITX, micro ATX board, $149. What an insane value. It's actually cheaper than most of the other Z690 boards. That's one of the things I often knock the micro ITX builds for, is that they tend to be more expensive because you're paying for the motherboard, you're paying for the case. In this case, we're getting a case for 40 bucks and we're getting an insanely cheap Z690 motherboard that also happens to be a micro ITX board. Great, it's got Wi-Fi on it, it's got a number of M.2 slots, the VRMs are absolutely adequate for what we're gonna do with it, $149. For the cooler, we're going with one of the most performative low-profile coolers out there, the id Cooling IS55. This is a great cooler. It's ARGB, you can get the white version, you can get the black version with RGB, or you can get black non-RGB. All of them are about $37 to $40. Insane performance on this, up there with the Noctua downdraft coolers on them. That's why we're going with it, and it's a fraction of the price. And this is going to allow us to vertically mount that GPU, where with a taller cooler, we wouldn't be able to do that. These are some of the tips that we're going to go over in our ITX build guide, so make sure you're subscribed for that. One of the downsides of that cooler and some of the low profile coolers is they absolutely require completely flat RAM in order to work, because there's almost no clearance there. So we're going to go with the Team Group 32 gigabyte kit, 32 gigs, DDR4 3200 CL16. Again, we're playing 1440p. We don't need super fast RAM. $50 for this kit. Just one quick note, the T-Crete also has a CL20 or 22 kit. Those are trash. Don't get those. Remember, use our links in the video description to get this specific kit. I wanted to get a drive with some DRAM on it, and want to make sure we get at least 1 terabyte. If you want to spend more, again, you could get a 2 terabyte drive. There's several M.2 slots on this board. You can add storage in later if you need to. I went with the Team Group MP34. It's got DRAM on it. It's 40 bucks. Like, what else do you really want? You could also go like the Silicon Power A80, another drive we often recommend with DRAM. For the power supply, we need about 700-ish watts. So I went with the Cooler Master V750 SFX. It's fully modular. It's A tier, rated on the PSU Cultist list. 2 thumbs up there. Right now, between the rebate and the promo code, you get it for about $105. There's a couple other models out there. There's like the Fantex Revolt, that would also be good. There's a Lee & Lee SP that's often available right around these price points. So check out those links down in the video description, but overall great unit. Finally, we need a couple of case fans here. So I went with these Thermalright all white 120 millimeter fans. Really, really nice. They got this nice little ring light around them. I think they're kind of very understated. I know a lot of people like that aesthetic look when they're going Mini ITX builds. Primarily, I want the RGB just to give it some up illumination on the bottom of the case so we can really kind of see our handiwork there. But if you want to go with something like the Cooler Master fan instead, a little bit more expensive, but absolutely my favorite fans. Any personal build I do in the future is going to use these. I just absolutely love them. They're in the build sitting next to me. I can't tell you how much joy these things bring me. Yeah, 20 bucks. They're a little bit more expensive, but honestly, well worth it. And honestly, in a build like this too, if you don't mind spending a little bit more for those aesthetics, it's going to look amazing. So for $950 blows my mind, the level of performance we're getting here. Not just the gaming performance, right, with that RX 6700 XT 12 gigabyte GPU, we're getting an amazingly performative CPU. Tons of multi-core performance out there with the i5 12600K, all of our video editing, all of our creator workloads for school and for professional stuff too as well. Huge value for $950 packed in that amazing Cooler Master Maxer box NR200P. All right, let's jump over to mid-range gaming monitors that I would recommend right now. The Acer Nitro XV272U, back in stock. All right, completely sold through on PrideNet, completely sold through. And it's back at its low $249 price. It is insane to me that we are seeing 1440p gaming monitors of this quality now at 250 bucks. That's insane. This is my top pick. It's got great motion handling on it. It's got 170 hertz refresh rate to it. Great color gamut. Overall, if you need a 1440p gaming monitor and this is what you got to spend, this is probably the best deal on the market. I also really love the Gigabyte M27Q-Pro or M27Q-P. It's listed both ways, but it's only back at Newegg right now. It's been out of stock since like the beginning of this year. It had been my #1 recommendation. At $299, it's still an insane value. If you don't want the other one, if you want to go for this one, I know this was everyone's kind of shortlisted best 1440p gaming monitor for quite some time. $299 is good. It comes with a KVM switch, as you can plug your keyboard, your mice. into one kind of USB hub, and then you can use it all across multiple devices. Right now, I can only find it at Newegg, can't find it at Amazon. I'll leave a link to both. Maybe you'll get lucky at Amazon. Otherwise, pick it up at Newegg. If you're looking for a 32-inch gaming monitor, the LG 32GN650B, very well reviewed gaming monitor, 165 hertz refresh rate, great color, great motion handling to it. 32 inches for $319. That's a pretty insane price. Remember, everything is linked down in the video description, so check those out. And if you got value out of this video, please give it a like, as it really helps out the channel. And of course, subscribe, click that bell icon. That way you get notified when we release cool content. Hey, speaking of cool content, check out our best CPU and GPU combo 2023 video, where we go through everything that you need to know to get the best CPU and GPU combo and max out your FPS at every budget level. And we'll catch you on the next one.